Mark is on the line. Mark, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hey, Ken. Thanks for your time. It's an honor to talk to you today.
Well, the honor's all mine. How can I help?
Well, the thing is that I've finally decided where my sweet spot is and what I should be doing. I do not have a clear path at all how to get there from here.
Oh, I like that. So let's talk about where we want to go and what you're unsure of on the path.
All right. Well, where I want to go is I really think I should be a professional speaker and life coach.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's my sweet spot after doing some analysis. And the two big obstacles I have are the minor one. The first one is getting a combination of the time and the money to get the training needed.
Okay.
Where I live, if you're working a reasonable amount of hours, 40 to 50 hours a week, then you're struggling to keep the power on. There's no money to invest in any type of training.
Okay.
If you're making enough money, you're working 70 to 80 hours a week, and you don't have any time or energy.
Okay. All right. What's the second obstacle?
Do that. The second one is the biggest one and probably the one I need the most help with, and that is I don't think there is anybody doing this in my time zone. So how do I create a network when where I want to be is nowhere? I've got nobody around me who is doing that I'm aware of.
Yeah, nobody is a professional speaker or a life coach.
Well, not around me.
How do
how do
you
know
I can
that? Reach out to and say, hey, how did you get? Because I've been checking into this for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
The last time I found a professional speaker in the state of Idaho, he lived about 250 miles west of me in Boise, and he was planning on moving out of the state when I called him.
Yeah, why was he planning to move?
That was probably 18 months ago. Because he needed access to a bigger airport. Being a speaker back then, he traveled a lot. This was before COVID locked everything down and set everybody.
Sure. Would you agree that if we were to fast forward your dream right now, and you were speaking around the country, that you would probably have to move as well to get to a better airport?
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's right. And you got some evidence of that. And I asked you that on purpose. I'm painting you in a corner. Because my next question is, how big of an area is Pocatello? I don't know. Forgive me for being ignorant. And then what do you think your pool, if you will, or your pond, how big is your pond big enough to have a successful life coaching business in that area?
Probably not. Pocatello itself is around, the area is probably a population of about 50,000.
Oh, okay. No, you could have a successful life coaching business there because you want to do both. So basically, when you're not traveling to speak and developing talks, you would have a second, kind of a two-pronged approach to your business, and you'd be coaching people, which would also help you develop content that you would use on the road. Makes a lot of sense.
Correct.
Yeah, I
think they kind of interweave with each other pretty well there.
Yeah, I think you have to ask yourself the question, am I willing to move down the road? I think down the road's the operating phrase. Because I think down the road, after you build this up, you're probably going to have to move. Are you willing to do that?
Oh, yeah. Nothing's holding me in Pocatello.
Are you married?
Other than, no.
Well, I got to tell you.
I'm divorced, so I can get it.
First of all, you can start a life coaching business in Pocatello. You can. And I'm going to tell you should. So here's the path forward. And we'll kind of talk through maybe possible timelines or the order. So let me give you a very clear path forward. Number one, you can get trained to be a life coach. There are some wonderful organizations out there that are highly credible, and I want you to go for ones that are very credible. But that leads us back to your first challenge. You're not making enough money in your current job to be able to afford it, is what you're telling me. You've done the research, and you can't afford to do a life coach certification online after hours. You can't afford to do it.
Well, right now I'm a truck driver, which I really don't like. So right now I've got the money, but nothing even close to any kind of a set schedule.
Yeah, but set schedule is one thing. Do you have the time?
That's also questionable. It would be really tight right now. Okay,
so here's what I think has to happen. We have to get a different day job. See, the day job is what's going to set us up for the future. So I think this is pretty simple.
Yes.
Let's go step one. Step one, you need to get a better day job that allows you to work 40 hours, good income, and allow you the time at night and weekends to be able to do the learning and the training, the testing to get certified as a life coach. That's step one, different day job that gives you the time and the margin financially to do it.
True.
Okay. Then you're either going to stay in that day job or you're going to get a different day job along the way. This might be 1 or 2 day job moves to where you can do some life coaching during the week, and you're going to have to meet people early morning or after work at night, right? So maybe that same day job allows you to do that, but you got to start the life coaching business on the side. Okay. Now, I want you to start the life coaching stuff and get going in that, and just one client at a time. You just got to build it. Now, while you're doing that, you also need to be developing speech content. It's very simple. And it starts with, who are the people I want to speak to? What problem or challenge or desire do they have that I want to help them solve? And then what in my message and methodology helps them see that this is a practical solution? You see where I'm going?
Yes, I do.
And I think the life coaching is going to inform the speaking content. All right. So we got a heavy dose of development coming in the next 2 years. Better day job, giving you the time, the headspace, the heart space to develop the content, to get trained to be a life coach, train people, take what you're learning from training people, coaching people, and develop content with it, speeches, so forth, so on. Now, in the interim, while you're still developing, you need to be speaking anywhere and everywhere that you can speak. I mean, anywhere and everywhere that you can speak. That's where I want you to speak. You've got to start getting cuts at the plate. Okay. You just got to get better at speaking, come up with one topic, and knock it out. One other piece of advice, start studying and consuming other speakers, their YouTube channels, their podcasts, their speeches. Go study and consume all the people that you love as a speaker, and you will then develop your own style, your own voice out of that, but they're going to inspire you. That's what you've got. See, the path will take care of itself once you put yourself out there enough and pay your dues, take your cuts at the plate. And eventually there's probably a move out of that smaller area into a bigger metropolitan area once you have your methodology, your message, your training, and a body of work to take that with you. So I think realistically, you've got to commit to a 3 to 5 year process before this is a full-time gig for you. Got it?
Okay.
If you're willing to do that, you'll get there. But you've got to have a mind for the climb. This is a 3 to 5 year journey, maybe as much as 7 to 9 years to really be doing it at the level that you want to be doing it.